successful in the game of hockey, you need power and speed. To be successful in the game of poker, you need patience and cunning. We'll find out who has the best mix of skills as the puck drops on a new kind of poker competition.
Let's gamble.
Tonight, we send a first line of NHL greats against one of the fastest rising stars in poker, Vanessa Rousso.
People see me as like a tough girl. I hope they're scared.
Get ready to step off the ice and onto the felt. This is the NHL Charity Shoutout presented by PokerStars.net. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rio and the NHL Charity Shootout. I'm McEachern, along with hockey fan and poker superstar Daniel Negreanu. Daniel, we're about to see a unique matchup, hockey pros versus poker pros.
Man, look at this place. It's unbelievable. We've got hockey boards, a poker table designed like an ice rink, a hockey puck for the button. Shoot, let me out there. I'm ready to hip check raise somebody.
All right, Daniel, why don't you take the honors and take us through today's lineup?
NHL greats from past and present are here, including Philadelphia Flyers versatile all-star center Mike Richards, one of the league's best goaltenders, Vancouver's Roberto Luongo, perhaps the toughest enforcer in the NHL, Montreal's Georges Laraque, NHL Hall of Famer and former Islander great Pat LaFontaine, and rounding out the NHL lineup, the six-time Stanley Cup champion, Glenn Anderson. Our hockey stars are joined by PokerStars.net online qualifier, Zachary Tomlinson, and by one of the most recognizable faces in professional poker, Vanessa Rousso.
And there is Vanessa. She recently won the European Poker Tour Monte Carlo High Roller event. Let's see how she does against slightly lower rollers from the NHL. Right now, the third member of our broadcast team, sideline reporter Heidi Androl, is standing by with all-star goalie Roberto Luongo.
All right, Roberto. As a goaltender in the National Hockey League and one of the best in the world, you face a lot of pressure in net.
Yep.
How are you going to handle the pressure here at the poker table today?
Well, it's almost the same. You know, you got to make sure that you stay calm and collected, and your thoughts are there with you, and make sure you make the right choices.
How do you think you're going to read this table, and who are you afraid of?
Well, definitely I'm going to stay away from Vanessa. That's my first target that I'm not going to be
I think that's a good one to stay away from.
And, you know, I'm probably going to try to go after the NHL guys that I see that probably don't have that much experience at the tables.
Well, good luck. Have fun today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Heidi. There's the NHL Shootout First Place Trophy, which will go to the champion at the conclusion of the final round. One man who certainly knows about championships, that man, Glenn Anderson. He won 6 Stanley Cups during his 17-year NHL career.
So what exactly is checking in hockey?
You want to find out?
Yeah, I have a feeling I don't, probably.
Usually, especially because we're in open ice right here. You don't want to get hit open ice.
I mean, Georgie runs into as hard as he can.
Ouch, that might hurt.
When Georgie came on the ice, I was going off the ice. So.
Georges Laraque is one of the toughest and most feared players in the NHL, isn't he, Daniel?
He certainly is, and he can score some goals. He's got over 50 in his career.
There is our hockey puck button on Glenn Anderson, so action starts on our online qualifier, Zachary Tomlinson, and he will fold. There's Pat LaFontaine, one of 8 U.S.-born players in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Pat lays it down. Everyone starts with 10,000 in chips. There's the 24-year-old captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, Mike Richards, with King 10 of spades. He calls. Now Vanessa Rousso with Queen 9 of hearts.
Okay.
Well, Vanessa has to feel like a favorite. She's going to play a lot of pots against these guys.
Glenn Anderson folds on Roberto Luongo, captain of the Vancouver Canucks, with Queen 5 offsuit in the small blind.
Roberto Luongo, he knows what he's doing. This guy plays a lot of poker. He's also my favorite goalie.
He calls for 100 with 8 tray off is the big blind, Georges Laraque. And when he says check, everyone listens. So 4 players to the flop. It is 4, deuce, 9, couple of hearts. Rousso has the best of it with a pair of 9s and a flush draw.
What a huge flop. Not only does she have top pair, she's also got a flush draw. Nobody else has anything in this hand.
Check to Vanessa.
This is one I will be betting, and I know it probably looks a little fishy that I'm betting the first hand. It's not fishy, I promise.
Early pressure from the pro.
I'll bet 600.
She's definitely telling the truth here. She's got everybody in really bad shape. As you see the percentages, she's a really big favorite.
Luongo gives it up. Laraque, so aggressive on the ice, I can't imagine he likes to fold, but he does. Richards folds.
All right, so I want you guys to remember this lesson, all right? Look, see, look at that. Top pair and the flush draw, all right? The lesson is, when I bet, fold.
Vanessa is starting to set the tone early, Daniel.
She certainly is. You know Vanessa doesn't want to lose to a bunch of hockey players.
All right, that's it. No more free look.
Let the schooling begin as Vanessa Rousso scores first against this intimidating table. Daniel, it's one of my favorite poker sayings, anyone can win. Well, we are going to put that theory to the test in this unique competition where some of the greatest players to ever hit the ice will try their hand on the felt. It should be a lot of fun.
Lon, I was born in Canada and I live in Las Vegas, so my two favorite things are hockey and poker. That makes this event a dream come true. Now, I've sat down at the table with a lot of pro athletes, and they all share that killer instinct. But it takes a lot more than competitive fire to win at poker, and I think these big guys will have their work cut out for them against a top pro like Vanessa Rousso.
This is the first of 3 opening round tables. The top 2 finishers from each will move on to the final table, which will be rounded out by the winners of the Second Chance tournament. All prize money will be donated to the charities of the player's choice. Roberto Luongo with ace queen of spades. He announces a raise to 600.
See, he knows what he's doing. Luongo.
Blinds at 1 and 200. Larocque with ace tray suited.
Well, Larocque said he doesn't like to fold. Ace 3 of hearts, even I'd play that.
He called LaFontaine now on the button. Queen 9 of hearts. And he calls sloppily.
He took a shot on the net. Did it go in? Roberto, did you stop it?
It was wide.
Of course he would have stopped it.
Now Vanessa Rousso in the big blind. Suited 10-8.
Well, she'll definitely want to see a flop with this hand.
And she does make the call. So 4 players, all with suited cards to the flop. The flop is 9-6-10 rainbow. Rousso with top pair again and a gut shot.
Well, you expect Rousso to take control of this hand by betting, and that's what she's doing.
She'll come out strong. 1,600 to Roberto Luongo. He missed the flop.
Well, good disciplined fold there. He didn't connect. Throws it away.
Rock. Suited ace.
I hate doing that.
He just pains him to fold.
Call.
LaFontaine with middle pair makes the call.
Quick call. He needs a queen or 9 on the turn.
Pat said he wanted to stay away from the pros, but here he is on the turn, and Rousso hits her straight to the 10.
Well, LaFontaine cannot win the pot. He would need 8 on the river to chop it.
Vanessa bets 2,500, less than half the pot.
A little bit.
On Pat now, who can only hope for a chop.
Call.
Pretty quick call there with just middle pair. Really hoping that just Vanessa's just on a random bluff.
Maybe he thinks he's being bullied. River card is another 10. Vanessa, you see with the check mark.
She's going to want to make a bet that LaFontaine would call.
25.
Very good value bet there.
Pat getting better than 5-1.
Straight.
And he makes the call.
And a 10.
9-10. You got me.
Again.
He does.
Vanessa Rousso takes another pot.
Sometimes it can be tough playing against amateurs. You really got to know how to bet your hands. Vanessa did a great job there.
Ruh-roh, you guys.
So Hall of Famer Pat LaFontaine and the rest of these hockey players have been served notice against Vanessa Rousso. They are skating on thin ice. The NHL Charity Shoutout is brought to you by PokerStars.net, the world's largest free poker site. Tonight marks the first in a series of 3 preliminary NHL shootout tables. As we look ahead, we'll see NHL superstars such as Alex Ovechkin, Matt Sundin, and Jeremy Roenick face off against elite poker pros Chris Moneymaker and Dennis Phillips. The top 2 finishers from each preliminary table, along with 3 wildcard qualifiers, will make up the final table. And from those final 9, one will win it all and be crowned the NHL Charity Shootout champion. So far at this table, Daniel, the poker pro, has the best of it. Vanessa showing no mercy.
Well, seems like these hockey players, tough guys, seem a little intimidated by little Vanessa Rousso.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be? She is one tough player, and one tough hockey player, Georges Larocque, known as BGL, Big George Larocque, with King 10 of hearts. The blinds at 100 and 200. He limps in.
He likes to see a lot of flops. With a hand like King 10 of hearts, I don't blame him.
Mike Richards from the Flyers, ace 9 off. Call for 200. Vanessa now. A small blind, King 9 off.
I'm going to raise it.
Really?
I guess any 2 cards will do for Vanessa.
I mean, is she really trying to bully George Larocque? Generally speaking, can't think that's a great idea.
A raise to 1,000.
Call.
George hates to fold. He'll call.
Vanessa in trouble here.
I'll call too.
Mike Richards will come along with his ace 9.
Well, as you can see by the percentages, Vanessa just 7% chance to win this hand.
She has to feel she can outplay these guys post-flop. Here's the flop. Jack 6-5, all diamonds. Vanessa with a flush draw. Richards has the best hand with ace high.
Well, that's a great flop for Vanessa. You saw how much trouble she was in. Now all of a sudden, she just needs a diamond.
She checks. Rock checks.
Well, nobody else really hitting this flop.
And they will all see a free turn card. It is a tray of diamonds, and Vanessa does it again, hitting her diamond flush.
Very, very lucky. Look, she's grinning right here. She knows, oops, I was goofing around, and I just got lucky.
That's 1,100.
I know you're blocking too.
You do? Then you should call.
You can't be that lucky.
You should call. I'm very lucky, actually. Very lucky.
Hey, you really want to call.
I really am lucky.
Give it up, George.
I kind of feel bad about how lucky I'm getting.
Yeah,
not really
right.
fair.
Likely story, Vanessa.
I hate folding.
Aw.
We know that.
You got to do it.
He does lay it down. Mike Richards a little quicker to fold.
You have
He wants
nothing.
to do so bad. Here, I'll show you one.
Vanessa shows him the 9.
And you had nothing.
King high flush.
So she shows him the king of diamonds as
You're
well.
like a good poker player. You got me to show my hand. Very nice.
Like, that's because you're happy because you just doubled your chip. You're like, how can you lose now? Right?
Well,
'Cause you're so
anything
happy.
can happen in poker, trust me.
Vanessa is right about that, but so far this table is tilting her way. She is the chip leader with over 21,000. The qualifier, Zachary Tomlinson with 9,300. Pat LaFontaine is the short stack with 3,300 after losing a big pot to Vanessa. All right, action starts back on Mike Richards with pocket jacks. And he will raise to 600.
Well, you definitely want to play a hand like 2 jacks strong with a raise. Well done.
Vanessa 8-6 suited.
Well, these are fun hands. You want to see a flop with 6-8 sometimes, but she's raising.
Wow, she's really testing the patience of this table. 1,800.
That's bad timing for Vanessa because I don't see Mike Richards folding jacks.
Glenn Anderson, king 10 of diamonds. He calls Luongo now. Ace king off.
Well, there's a couple ways Luongo could play this, and he likes to play a small ball style of poker. Very nice.
Roberto calls now with the jacks. Richards with a call.
Well, if I have those jacks there and I'm Mike Richards, I'm going to stick it all in.
Wow.
4 players will see the flop. Richards best with his pocket jacks. The flop, 6-6 queen, and Rousso hits trips.
Are you serious? Man, is she getting lucky.
She is running good. Richards could be in trouble with his jacks. He bets 2,000.
Well, it looks like an okay flop for jacks, just 1 overcard. He's not going to like what he sees here.
Vanessa with the raise to 7,700.
Threw that over there like that.
That would put the rest of them all in.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, Glenn Anderson missed this flop completely.
And he does get out of the way. Luongo, ace king into the muck.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't.
Richards with his jacks.
Somebody can't be that lucky, Mike. She can't be that lucky.
He's getting advice from George Larock. But we know his advice is usually call. And it's bad advice in this case.
You have ace queen?
No.
King queen?
No.
Queen jack?
Keep trying.
King king? Ace ace? 10-10? Jack jack.
There you go. Great read.
6-5?
Vanessa not worried about anything Richards might have. He calls, and he's in trouble.
Wow, re-raise with 8-6.
Well, I'm sure none of the players at the table expected that.
So Mike Richards all in and needs some help.
Oh,
You are running hot. Jeez, wow.
well, that's an understatement. She's been on fire so
Sorry,
far.
I feel bad.
I know.
Well, Mike Richards got himself in this spot. Hey, if he moved all in before the flop, Vanessa would have folded.
That 5 is no help to him. Richards about to go out as
I'm gonna
quickly
root for
as
you.
his Flyers did in the last playoffs.
Let's go.
I'm serious. I want to jack. Come on, give him a jack.
They're calling for a jack. That's what he needs. The river card is an ace, though. Vanessa Rousso wins again and knocks out Mike Richards in 7th place.
Well, obviously an amateur player, a great hockey player, poker, not so much.
Ace king is one. See it poolside.
So Mike Richards wins $2,000 for his charity, the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And the resident poker pro, Vanessa Rousso, continuing to run over this table of NHL stars. She's got them wondering if they can even win one pot off of her. Let's go to Heidi Androl, who's standing by with Mike Richards.
Mike. No one likes to be the first one out of the table.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Yeah, obviously not the greatest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, jacks.